Good evening and welcome in. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I know you have a very busy schedule. You have a lot of things going on, and the fact that you took the time to join me during this moment means a lot to me. Thank you so much for doing that. I just hope that you will be enlightened by some of the things that I'm going to share with you during this little short presentation, just to give you an idea of some things that I am working on, things that I am gearing up for the new year, for my future, and for other things that are going on. If you are just now joining us and maybe you don't know who I am a comedian. I'm a full-time touring comedian Mickey Bell, and I do about 160 concert dates every year. And what I'm sharing with you tonight, you may wonder, well, Mickey, if you are successful in being a full-time comedian, then why are you looking for something else? Why are you searching for something else to do? Like, you don't have enough time as it is. Why would you start working and planting for something else? And here's the simple reason. Because someone asked me one time, Mickey, what would happen to you and your family if you had to stop traveling tomorrow? If for some reason you were unable to do your job, what would you do then? But then my mind went back to whenever all of this was given to me as a blueprint, as a plan, that I began working. And I remember during that time that while I was learning everything that I was learning to get to where I am today in my comedy career, I remember thinking, and I actually remember telling God this. I remembered saying that I wanted to be able to help as many people possible reach their goals and their dreams. I didn't know it was going to happen this quick, just like I didn't realize that the stuff that I'm getting to experience as a full-time comedian, that I'm getting to experience already, this was stuff that was planned years down the road, not now. But now that it's happening so quick, it's starting to speed up the process, the plan, the blueprint, the system, whatever you want to call it. It has started speeding everything else up because now I'm thinking about when it's time to come off the road. What am I going to do whenever it's time to stop traveling? What am I going to do if, for necessity reasons, my schedule is cut in half? What am I going to do when I start looking at retirement? What am I going to do when this chapter of my life may be over? And I feel like it's far from over, but what am I going to do? And I have been preparing for this moment for many years. There's been a lot of training, a lot of mentoring, a lot of reading, a lot of studying, a lot of thinking, a lot of strategizing, a lot of stuff been going on many years to get me to where I am in this spot to be on this video talking to you right now. To give you a little backstory about myself, and then I will get into what I wanted to share with you. You know that I'm very open about my faults and failures. You know that I'm very open about the fact that I was serving as a senior pastor of a church. You know that I started making some decisions that were wrong decisions that ended up getting me fired from the church. When I got fired from the church, my family, we were escorted out of the pastor's house. And I was forced with the decision. What am I going to do now? I have literally hit rock bottom. What am I going to do now? In that particular point in time, I didn't know that a comedy career was in my future. In that point in time, I didn't know this video was going to be in my future. In fact, I was just trying to continue to live to the next day. That's all I was striving to do. So then I ended up having to pick up the pieces. I ended up having to strategize on what I was going to do next. What was going to be my next move? How was I going to provide for my family? I started getting back on my feet. Things started happening. I started getting some jobs. I worked in television. I worked in radio. Got situated at a radio station with a program that was on every night. Because of Facebook Live, I was seen worldwide, had a worldwide audience. And then all of a sudden, the station decided we're going to flip formats. Mickey, we no longer need your services. And right at the moment that I was getting my head right, right at the moment that I felt like I was headed somewhere, I hit another closed door. I can remember the year before COVID, I was laying in bed one night, and I remember getting up out of my bed, laying down next to my bed on the floor. My wife was asleep, and I remember I just started crying out to God, and I began praying, and I said, God, I've got to have a plan. I don't know what to do. I need a plan. And I did not go to sleep that night until God deposited inside of me step by step that I was going to take to get to where I am today. You can imagine what it was like that next morning, waking up and telling my wife, okay, I've got a plan from God, and seeing her all excited. And then all of a sudden I told her, I'm going to start a comedy career. And then her face going, what? I was instructed about who to contact that I was going to work with. I was given specific names of people that I was going to reach out to and I was going to work with. And that management that I have today was that individual that I called. I called him up and I said, Scott, here's the deal. You don't know who I am. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, but this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Scott goes, I don't know what role I'm supposed to play. Well, I said, well, let me tell you, because I know. And from that moment forward, I had to prove it to him, but we started a relationship that has taken us to where we are today. And the things that we are experiencing today, we were not expecting to experience until 10 years from now. It has happened that fast, that quick. In the midst of that plan and everything that got me to where I am now, I started taking notes. Because I told God that if I work my way out, and if he gave me the plan to work my way out, then I wanted to commit the rest of my life helping other people work their way out. Thus, this video. I didn't realize it was going to be this quick. I didn't realize it was going to happen this soon, but I'm just following the plan and the schedule that I was given to follow. Because I had to start over. And the fact of the matter is, every week that I stand on stage, I am meeting all types of individuals from all different walks of life who are having to find a start over point in their life. Because watching me right now, there may be a pastor who has made some bad decisions. There may be a pastor who did not make a bad decision, but because of a congregation had a door closed on them and they don't know what to do now. There could be a business leader right now who, because the plant shut down, you're finding yourself in your 40s trying to decide, what am I going to do now? There may be a mom watching me right now that the divorce has happened, and now you got to find yourself starting over in a relationship, starting over how you're going to provide for your family. Maybe you have got a great job, but it's not your calling. You're not feeling fulfilled and you feel like there has got to be more in me than this. That's the reason that I have started this. Winning while starting over. Winning while starting over. I am taking the exact blueprint that I have followed for the last 4.5 years. And I am going to guide individuals through this proven system of finding where you're supposed to be and how you can succeed in this. It starts with strategy. The very first thing you have to have is strategy. You've got to have a game plan. You've got to know where you are going. You've got to know how you're going to get there. You've got to know the pitfalls to avoid. You've got to have a strategy on where you are going. I've always heard this. If you never define what success is in your life, how do you know when you have arrived at that successful moment? Let me put it another way. If you do not set a particular goal, that is going to determine that you have won, how are you going to ever know that you've won? You have to have a strategy in place. And what I do is I take you by the hand, I help you decide where you are going. But in addition to deciding where you are going, I help you with a blueprint, with a system that is going to help you get there. What do we use? Once we have the strategy in place, then we start identifying your skills. Now, a lot of times, what people will look at when they look at skills is they will say, I need to look at what I'm good at. You're right. But I also need to know what you can't do. You may know what you can do, but you've also got to identify what you can't do. Because it's in those moments that you have to decide, if I have to do something that I'm not familiar with doing now, then I've got to get the skills. I've got to get the training. I've got to find somebody that can help me learn what I need to learn if this skill is necessary for the game plan that I have for my life. Once you have the strategy, once you have the skills that's in line with what you're going to be doing, then you've got to have, in all of this, you got to have what I call the secret sauce. What is the secret sauce? Before I talk about the secret sauce, let me ask you this question. And it may be something you want to write down. Where do you need to start over in life? What area of your life is miserable right now? What area of your life needs attention right now? Now, imagine with me, what would it feel like if you were able to pick yourself back up after the divorce? What would it feel like to know that while the plant may be shutting down, you're on your road to something bigger and better? What would it feel like right now that while people are trying to shut every door in your face and your haters are trying to pull you down and hold you back, what would it feel like right now if you could have just imagined, what would it feel like if you didn't need them? If they weren't responsible for you getting to your successful moment? What if I told you that you have inside of you right now everything that God intended on you to have to do what he intended on you to do? You got to have the strategy, you got to have the skills, and you got to have what I call the secret sauce, an experienced guide. You've got to have someone who can guide you along this way, get you on this journey, help you find your strategy, help develop your skills, and then help hold you to the place where you need to be to get it done. Now, what does an experienced guide do for you? The first thing they do is they find out what traits you have. What are your traits? What is your character? What are the areas of your life and your character that needs work? Because you don't want to build success on a shaky foundation. That's how some of us fail the first time. Then we've got to figure out what our beliefs are. It's one thing to know something. I know I want to be successful. I know I want to make six figures. I know I want to have a new relationship. I know I want to have a new career. I know. But we've got to transfer that from I know to actually believing that it can happen. Knowing and believing are two different things. We talk about that when we talk about salvation. You know you need to be saved. You know you need a Savior. But until you actually believe in that Savior, transformation has not taken place. So we apply the same principle when it comes to winning while starting over. I take you from just wanting it to happen and thinking it can happen and hoping it can happen. I turn that into an actual belief system that it will happen. Then the third thing that happens is I provide accountability. Because when you try to take a step of faith, when you try to leap out to do something that is totally beyond your capability of thinking or believing, you've got to have someone there that's going to hold you accountable. That's why people will pay extra money, not just for the gym membership, but they will pay extra to have a trainer. That's why they will have an accountability partner. That's what the experience guide will do for you. And that's exactly what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to help individuals who are wanting to find themselves in a totally different place than where they've ever found themselves. You're not happy where you are. You're looking for something better. And I said that if I got to this point where I am right now, I said I wanted to help as many people possible. Now, here's what I'm launching. I'm launching my career after my career. If I'm able to do this right here the rest of my life, I can die feeling fulfilled. When I stand on stage and I help people laugh, when I talk about mental illness, when I offer encouragement, when I pour words of encouragement and affirmation into the lives of so many people, that helps me. But I also want to take you on a journey that takes you from where you are right now to where you want to be. Now, how does that sound to you? What I'm going to be doing between now and the end of the year, I'm simply going to be choosing 5 individuals. 5 individuals that I'm going to take on this journey. Now, this is just going to be the start of it. When I say I'm going to choose 5, I'm going to choose 5 individuals that I'm going to work with one-on-one. Now, it's first going to start with a strategy call. If you're interested in this, you will sign up for a free strategy call where we will get on a call together and we will see if I'm able to help you and you be able to see if I'm able to help you. Then we take it from that point forward and we get you on your journey. Out of all the strategy calls that I'm going to do, I'm going to choose 5 individuals that I'm going to work with personally. Now, later on, this is going to turn into a group session. This is going to be where I'm talking like this to a group of many. But to do what I call a pre-launch is going to be where you're going to be able to have my full attention. This is going to be a 90-day program. You are going to get 6 video calls with me, and you're going to have me available to you for weekly check-ins. Now, that's just this pre-launch. Once we get past this, it's going to be automated to the hilt. And what I mean by that is it's going to be me talking to the masses, not me talking to you one-on-one. So here's how it's going to start. To sign up for your free strategy call, you just go to coachmickeybell.com and you look at my calendar. Get yourself scheduled on my calendar. Now, before you schedule yourself on my calendar, let me also let you know this ahead of time. This is not going to be free. Because those who do things for free will not follow through with the commitment. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the strategy call, absolutely free. The 90-day program, there will be a small charge for that. So I just want to be upfront and honest with you before you schedule your call. So before you schedule your strategy call with me, just make sure you understand that there will be an investment on your part to start this 90-day program of winning while starting over. whatever area in your life you find yourself needing help, needing assistance, needing to pick yourself up and start over. It starts with you going right now to coachmickeybell.com, sign up for your free strategy call, and then let's get to work.